Welcome everyone to Overwatch Contenders Fall Series Korea. It's G Clef here, and with Unknown as always, it's playoff time for Korea. It's been a couple of weeks already, and we were able to see a lot of great teams, but it comes down to the top 3 teams from Group A, Group B. Who's going to win and move up to that grand final slot? We'll find that out in just 3 days. Actually, we're on that first day. Hey, Unknown, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and it's kind of also happy and sad at the same time because this is going to be the last season for 2023, and just looking at these teams conclude their year, we have currently 6 teams remaining. Of course, the top teams from each group are they got a bye to the semifinals, and we have the second and third place teams of each group going against each other today. For some of these teams, today is going to be the last day of 2023 competitive Overwatch for them.
Yeah, so they of course have to make it the best for them. The first place of each group they're actually waiting for tomorrow's match. We're only having 2 of those matches that's going to be happening, and one of those 2 teams are going to be dropping out. So it just comes down to that's what competitive is all about. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Better team does move out at the end of the day. So that's going to be it. Which teams are going to be moving out though? We're about to find the answer from those questions because we have some great teams. Of course, some teams already knocked out from the group stage because we only had a top 3 out of the 5. So, but very glad to see PANTHERA actually coming on top, which when we were casting Korea, PANTHERA was actually having 0-2.
Yeah, PANTHERA was having a very hard time.
That looks weird. They might just not make it to the playoff, but here we are. PANTHERA made it.
Yeah, they made it through a sliver. Everyone thought that PANTHERA would be at least contending for that first or second place when the groups were announced. But like, what do you know? Once the match actually started, they had a really rough early few weeks of the group stages, and then yes, they did manage to claw back 2 wins and then made it 2-2, and they almost it went to the very last stage, Club, because the Group A was really interesting because, I mean, if you've been following the group stages all along, and even you, chat, on that last day, Revival could have almost triggered a 3-way tie for that 3rd place. And that's how close that group was. And PANTHERA was the sole survivor of that last day. And yeah, I mean, of course, everyone expected them to advance to the knockouts, but man, it was really close.
Yeah, that's what happens when a single team excels so much when when a single team defeats everything else with a 4-0, 4-0. We actually have 2 teams, 0 and also Dreamers, who got 4-0 in each group. So it's about who gets second, who gets third, which means that second place, third place is going to be very, very close in terms of numbers. And also, I was also hoping for maybe we actually have like a tie in map differential too, and then we have to go down into like the details in the tie breaks.
Yeah, because like you said, G-Cliff, if Revival made that last day's upset on the last day of groups, the map differentials would have been also tied as well. So that meant that they would have triggered a additional tiebreaker match.
Yeah, which makes everything exciting all the time. But that did not happen. And here's the overview. As we went through the 2 groups, 5 teams. Now we're down to the 3 each. We're going to be going through the knockout stage now in the playoff. And we're starting with the Group B 2nd and the Group A 3rd place here.
Remember that this is going to be a single elimination format, so if you lose today, then there's no second chances for you. Of course, we will be also mentioning that on the match preview for later today as well, but this is somewhat of a different format. And usually playoffs were a double elimination format, but this time it gets a little bit more exciting, a lot of stakes at hand.
A lot of stakes and not that many matches that you have that many chances to go through. So if you get a match win, you move out. If you lose, you are gone. Since we already had the groups, as you can see the numbers from the groups, 0 Dreamers. They're near flawless. Dreamers plus 10. Yeah, you can say that.
Did they only drop 2 maps?
Yeah, you can also kind of. Some people are also arguing. I've seen some of the Korean commentators too that Group A was slightly stronger than Group B even. That people can argue, but we're flying through the overview, of course. As a bracket, PANTHERA did make it, going against SPG. That's the first match of the day, and JNGK versus Poker Face will be our second match for the night. And then the winners will be moving up to that semi-playoff. And then the winners from those matches will be going on the final day, the grand finals.
Yeah, and one exciting fact about the Grand Finals is that it's actually going to be a LAN event. So at the WDG Esports Studio in Seoul, Korea, tickets are on sale. So if there's anyone in the region, I recommend to go checking it out. But that's enough for that, and we have today's schedule. As G-Cuff mentioned, today we will be having the quarterfinal matches for today. PANTHERA going against SPG, JNGK going against Poker Face. Well, I think that on paper, PANTHERA should be winning, but that's also what I said on the group stage as well. They had a really rough group stage, like even considering that PANTHERA has a really strong roster. SPG showing that they were actually pretty better than how everyone expected them to be. And JNGK Poker Face, I think Poker Face should be a little bit more favorite, but JNGK showed vast improvements even throughout the group stage, so their job today is to prove that they're not pushovers here.
Yeah, of course. Lots of strong teams. The first place will not be playing today, as mentioned in the bracket again. But this is the real fight as the better team moves on. But PANTHERA finally came to the playoff. Can they actually go through the playoff and go to the grand finals?
Yeah, no second chances and no mercy, like as we mentioned earlier, because this is, remember G-Clef, this is a single elimination format. Losing means elimination. You're not going to the losers bracket. You're not going to have that miracle rerun again. You lose, you go home.
Yeah, so it's going to be the real battle, as every single map in the portion will count. As I think getting into the teams more, I think we have a lot to talk about, especially when it comes down to the ult management for both sides. PANTHERA, of course, showed better signs in the later part, especially the week 2. But during week 1, PANTHERA also showed lots of weakness, which can still come up today.
Yeah, good point, G-Cliff, because PANTHERA, yes, if you look at their roster here, it's full of talent. They have ex-Overwatch League talent. They have best, like, players that have been clouded as some of the best talents in Contenders Korea. But however, they still need to figure out which composition they're more comfortable with. We've seen various versions of PANTHERA. We've seen the good versions. We've seen the bad versions. Like, for example, we're having Slee playing today. So this kind of hints of a double flex support, which I really like, because remember, RPen is traditionally a main tank, and then main tank usually means that they need to put up the tempo a lot. They need to set their own tempo, not following the tempo of the opponent, and that means playing a good Lucio tempo game, which they haven't been able to show. So maybe starting Slee is recognizing those kind of weaknesses and starting with their strengths.
Yeah, maybe they need to reinforce a little bit depending on what they want to do in order to win against SPG, the members that you can see on this screen. They've been having a okay time on the other side of the group, but when these new teams clash against each other now, let's see who comes on top. Yeah, this roster is also very strong.
Exactly. So SPG, we've been seeing a lot of different compositions from them. I've been really personally impressed with the evolution of Milkaru here. Milkaru playing in the Overwatch League Opens and knockouts as well. He's been known as a wrecking ball one trick, but these days we've been seeing a lot of SPG different compositions from SPG, like the Orisa comp. We've seen their Doomfist comp. We also seen some of the Ryan compositions as well. And not to mention that whenever SPG is in kind of like a in a pinch, they can also always take out that wrecking ball. And their first map is going to be Antarctic Peninsula, which is SPG's pick because they are the higher seed.
Oh. That's certainly one great moments, and that's going to show some special moments for Milkaru. And I'm also a pretty big ball fan myself. Not favoring SPG in any way, but ball can cause a lot of trouble, especially that mine. Plus, I'm not totally sure if PANTHERA will be ready, because you don't really get to face against ball too much in this type of competition.
And then I think, yeah, like what you said, like going on what you said, G-Clef, because if you play the ball, that means PANTHERA is kind of forced into playing the Sombra, because Sombra, like, the ball is a big nuisance if you're not having the Sombra to hack the ball and deny those pile drivers. And also the fact that PANTHERA is running a double flex support, possibly a double flex support, meaning that they might lack the utility to keep that ball in check. So, like you said, G-Clef, whether they play the ball or not is going to be of great importance in this game. And as we're seeing the hovers It looks like Milgaru is actually going to play the ball.
Yep, and we do see that Sombra from hidden on the other side. And some initial damages being done
think
early
PANTHERA
on.
actually anticipated the ball pick because remember, hidden is coming out with the Sombra, and you don't usually play Sombra if you don't anticipate the ball to be on play. So I think PANTHERA won the initial composition gamble here. And so this first fight's going to be really, really important.
Oh, action hatch. The field is now gone, but okay. Some
Aid has
good
the
deals.
configuration, so a lot of damage up for Arpen is very low and down, although taking down Arpen. So this means that SPG has first take on the point.
And also a counter pick from Becky on the other side. Getting Wuchan down, making it 4-4.
Becky is definitely the player to look at.
Oh,
PANTHERA
hacked.
here. Becky's mechanical prowess is definitely something that PANTHERA is looking forward to as their win conditions that they want to win today's match.
Yeah, but Doomfist does come back into the battlefield pretty early. So we'll be joining in the fight, and overall PANTHERA might just have a lot more support.
Oh, good nade from Develop to take down Aid. But Becky is traded out. So this means that PANTHERA needs to commit ultimates in order for them to keep the point. Yes, Arpen did take down Uchan, but so is Develop, and with Slee very, very low, there might not be enough sustain for PANTHERA to keep this point.
Now here's Migaru trying to do what he can. There's Becky, but as a Kenji, you can't really take the entire team by yourself. And also Sombra, so in terms of controlling here, SPG can, once they start controlling, it could actually snowball really hard.
Yeah, so, that was a good pick from him because remember, PANTHERA has two ultimates here, and Becky with that Dragon Blade would have definitely wanted to use that to take that point, especially because they know that Uchan did not have the rally. However, taking down that hidden Sombra bought SPG very precious time for them to stall out, and this means that it's going to get even harder for PANTHERA, and that kill on Develop's going to delay them even more. So Becky, even with that Dragon Blade, it cannot find that timing to use that to take back the point.
And delaying the entire team from coming back early on. Here's Arpen. You just can't use that ultimate as Sombra is coming soon. And, well, before Ana comes and joins the entire team, the rest of the team is going to be down within that duration. So SPG finding the right moment.
Oh, is Becky going to be stalled? He is! And that means it's going to be final fight territory for the side of PANTHERA. Remember, G-Club, Becky had that Dragon Blade for a while, and everything about ultimates is that the timing, and when you have the ultimates and the opponent doesn't, that's when you have the advantage. But even with the Dragon Blade right now, SPG has enough ultimates for them to win the fight. Yes, they might drop a few members, however, they have the ultimates to turn the fight around.
Use it now, Minefield. Already poured out from Milgaru, still having 3 ultimates.
The pulse connects as Slee is down.
No.
This is overtime ticking. Becky has to use that Dragon Blade in desperation. Can he make any value with it?
Can you make it? But Becky goes down early on with just getting 1, although still surviving. It is just up to Hidden, I believe. Sombra can't really do much. 99% time sticking.
Nobody can touch. And that is first round on the side of SPG. Yes, PANTHERA put up a good fight or two, however, SPG looked the dominant team throughout.
Yeah, once SPG really got the hold of the points, Doomfist is of course great, but onto the other side, you have to really pick fights from the side and let Genji get those kills, or Sombra getting those early hacks onto the ball, which did not really happen throughout the entire map, except for the first few seconds. And other than that, PANTHERA seemed like a lost team already right after that moment.
Yeah, this kind of connects with the pre-match comments that I said about PANTHERA. It looks like they still haven't figured out what kind of composition they're most comfortable with. Yes, like you said, the Doomfist has value, and they won a few fights with it. However, you don't win a round or a map with winning a few fights. You have to win the war, and I think PANTHERA right now is either that they think that it was a mis-execution, not the compositional problem, so they're putting the Doomfist up again. SPG with... Okay, wow.
Okay. Why was that Doomfist over there on the side, okay? Can't really read exactly what that reasoning was, but I guess Doomfist can come back into the fight really early, so that doesn't matter as much. But Milgaro already up to 38% because of that reason.
And remember, Panthera was denied even the opportunity for a first fight because Arpen fell so early. They did not even have the opportunity to fight, and they just gave away the point to SPG. And it's like retaking the point rather than taking a point on neutral ground is two different things.
Arpen diving into the team con was able to find some damage, but you do have to run out as Becky off to the side. Not
One
bad
saving grace on the side of Panthera is that Becky is very, very quick on those Dragon Blade, already at 83%. However, Slee is down again. Yes, Luciman is traded, but remember, the point is still on the side of SPG, so if it's an even fight, if it's an even neutral fight, then SPG is going to feel good about this because the timer is ticking towards SPG's favor.
Yeah, losing 1-1, made an equalizer. Here's the Blade, but can really find the timing. Okay, gets one, Bastion down.
I think SPG should just give this up. Yeah, so they just baited out the Dragon Blade, and also, a few other members of SPG fall. So I think SPG should just, reset and use. Now they're approaching their ultimates as well. They have the Blizzard coming up, they have the Gravitic Flux coming up, they have the Sound Beat, and also the Window coming up. So this should be a turn that SPG should be winning. It would be the best if SPG uses some of their ultimates before Slee's rally comes up. But also Panthera, the silver lining for Panthera would be that they have EMP as well, so maybe they can use that aggressively to thwart any kind of offensive maneuvers from SPG.
And also Nano available if you want to give that to anyone else because the Drake Blade is not there. Doomfist with the Nano.
Okay, this is good aggression from Panthera. This is only a Nano boost used, so they have, not only do they have time to farm more ultimates. Oh, Becky falls. That's going to be a little bit of a complication.
That EMP with perfect timing. SPG, they're dropping ults, but it might be too late.
Do you really want to use their flux there? No.
Yeah, that's right. Hidden's EMP timing was way too crucial in that team fight, SPG, because I remember seeing almost 4 or 5 ults being ready, but no one was able to press that because of that EMP. Perfect timing from Hidden.
Yeah, Becky fell early, so I thought that would be SPG's opportunity to take that point and possibly use some ultimates here. But in the end, as a result, as you can see here, they're using ultimates, but they're not winning the fights yet.
Only with Blizzard can they do more. Panthera's actually winning with it.
Another Blade! Are you kidding me? And that's going to be the end of Milgaro as well. So, SPG, they have to be on a desperate touch mission here. Aid might be in an
Tracer Sombra, so they're trying to touch.
But they're going to have to give their life away for it. Yes, the triple blink.
But after the recall, who else is going to be there? Can you have the trans? Okay, Sombra did get the touch.
It has to be the Tracer.
Yeah, now the entire team Milgaro on point, so they bought good enough time at least.
Yeah, so that was a good touch operation for both.
Can you hold
Aid
it though? That's the big question. No ultimates for either side.
Okay, Panthera decides to play it a little bit safe. They don't want to risk any members just to touch the point, but Becky is down. That's also a complication on their side as well. SPG's ultimates fastly approaching. They don't even need ultimates to win this fight, and suddenly, G-Club, this is going to be a final fight where the winner is going to take round 2.
We're going back to summer here with Tracer Sombra on both sides. Yeah, with the Nano to keep that Bridget alive, which I don't think it was a terrible decision because there's no Genji anyhow for Panthera.
Yeah, if Brig dies, that would have been, they would have to start the final fight without a member. So yes, as long as much as they wanted to save that Nano, they had to use it. But Slee is down. SPG still has that sound barrier. Sound barrier saves the Milgaro, and it looks like it's on Hidden, and that EMP hits everyone else. But is there any follow-up damage? Uchan falls, but Becky falls also.
Arpen hacked, and Doomfist is down. No one else can actually touch the point. It's just Hidden.
Hidden touches, but is taking down the Brig. It's not fast enough for the touch, and SPG takes Antarctic Peninsula.
that switch into Tracer Sombra from SPG literally saved the team. It was, I believe, about 99 to 60 something percent at that moment.
Yeah.
And immediately coming back. Of course, the ball can roll and get to the point pretty easily too.
Yeah, but Milkaru was on Risa and had a decent ult charge. I think that they had faith in their DPS lineup to touch. And what was really impressive there, G-Clev, was that with just one of either Sombra or Tracer, they wouldn't have been able to make it, because yes, they did make the initial touch, but they had to make the second touch as well.
Exactly.
In order for them to be alive long enough for the team to come. And that made the difference.
Yeah, sometimes you have your thoughts and you have your own gameplay, but it just doesn't work. But perfect touch, triple blink, Tracer recalls immediately, Sombra. You have to touch the point. If you don't, you literally lose at that moment. So lots of cool moments from SPG. They're certainly on the lead with a 1-0 score, but when we come back, we'll have that map number 2 for you guys. It is the playoff time. Welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea playoff day number 1. And as SPG right now seems to be winning in every way, I think, almost in every way, in terms of team fights, the duel, the teamwork. PANTHERA certainly, as we have always mentioned, they have the mechanical skills, but to me, it doesn't seem like they're all together in pieces right now.
Yeah, PANTHERA with this roster, if you look at the names on this roster, you just can't help but expect a little bit much more from them. This should be a roster that should be aiming to winning Contenders the entire thing. But as we've seen today right now, they're still struggling to find out what works for them. I think RPen has a little bit... I don't necessarily think that Doomfist is bad, nor that RPen is bad on the Doomfist, but I think that they do need to kind of move away from the Doomfist and find out...
Potentially.
Yeah, because what I'm seeing is that SPG... despite having Milkaru and Milkaru kind of being evaluated as somewhat of a one-trick on the ball, is showing a lot more flexibility on the compositions and making those crucial changes at the right time to make those things work. Again, I have to credit Milkaru over and over again,
yes.
Because even today, he showed us the ball, he showed us the Risa already, and it's not just he knows how to play that pick, he's playing on the tactical level, and he knows what he needs to do both mechanically and strategically what this pick is required in that composition.
So would you rather just have a 0 slope and go straight in a line, flat line, or become a cosine and go up and down all the time? Because in terms of teamwork, if you have a flat line slope, that you can actually match with the teammates easier. But if you go up and down so much, in terms of teamwork, and if you're not the player, if you're the teammate on the same team, it might be a little harder to match that different type of play. So I think that it comes down to SPG with that 0 slope, and PANTHERA just moving up and down. Let's see if they can actually bring that up a lot more in coming King's Row, because it is their pick on hybrid.
Yeah, King's Row kind of brings a lot of thoughts here. Potential high ground play available for PANTHERA, meaning that maybe we can expect a little bit of the Winston or maybe even the Doomfist again. And I'm not sure, because we've seen a lot of Blizzard World recently a lot on the Overwatch League, and a lot of and on the other side, we've seen on Contenders APAC, a lot of teams don't...
Yeah, close to 0.
Yeah, they don't really prefer. So I don't know how the logic is between the map picks here, but I do think that on King's Row, at least on first point, they might want to use RPen's prowess on the main tank hero pools to, I don't know, just disintegrate whatever strategy SPG has in mind.
And we were mentioning that even if this is a map where it does not really favor Zarya, some teams still play Zarya on this map. And with these two rosters, less likely, but we'll see. Instantly going with that Echo Bastion up DPS line for SPG.
Okay, here the Doomfist makes a little bit more sense on King's Row, because yes, he can have access on the high ground compared to the Sigma, where you have to walk all the way around if you want to get high ground access. But I think SPG has a good countermeasure here, because I don't think there's anyone on the side of PANTHERA that can effectively take out the Echo. And Uchan is down.
Unless you can pinpoint on the backline supports as easily. And that's a trade with Doomfist, but of course, after the recall, the respawn, it's going to be much faster for PANTHERA.
Yeah, much faster for PANTHERA, but Uchan died earlier, so Uchan will be on that fight by the time Arpen will be back.
And some good focus fight, 1-1 trade again.
We're seeing a few trades, but Becky with that pulse stick on Uchan means that PANTHERA will be having at least 2 ticks here. The choice is going to be SPGs on whether they want to contest after that second tick or not. But if you look at the ult charges here, G-Club, SPG might think that they want to contest.
Can you actually go for?
They don't.
For a Milgaru stunned, and the point already gone, so there's less of a reason to contest right now and even drop any ults. So just going to go back into their comfort zones. Oh, PANTHERA actually chasing.
That was
A good amount of target. Nano used.
Good aggression on the side of PANTHERA, because remember, G-Club, even though if you cap first point, that small tunnel arc on right after point A is one of the choke points that the defending team is very advantageous in. But by making those stagger kills happen, oh, that was a greedy play from Becky and got punished from Uchan. Like, coming back to that point, making those stagger kills so that they just can go through that tunnel makes things a lot easier for the side of PANTHERA.
Yeah, since they already turned the first corner now. And SPG, although, right behind that Doomfist, hack.
Oh, taken down, burst
well
down.
Focused. Yeah, with aid on the other side.
Oh, Becky, that stick, but the immortality field was there, but
Still
the follow-up damage did kill Aid, so they do have some breathing space, but Becky is down.
Okay.
Got punished once again.
Well, the DPS one more trade. It's up to the tank and the back lines. All the ultimates just being dropped. Some more hacks. All those Sombra play has been, and plus the Tracer play has been pretty good, but PANTHERA just coming on top with the mechanics.
Yeah, both Briggs had the rally up. However, Lisuman died earlier, so the sustain was not enough for SPG to win that fight. So I think it is going to be, once again, I think this time SPG should be able to contest at the end of the point, unless they don't want to, or PANTHERA doesn't let them.
Oh, Arpen's
3 meters, are they going to give it for free?
Oh.
No, but it looks like they are. Yes, there was that brief touch, but no, it was not enough for stopping PANTHERA to cap point B. This is a very early point B cap, G-Club, because it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the time bank. And it's not that it's not even that PANTHERA was using all of their ultimates to make this happen.
And SPG has been holding a lot of their ultimates because they're getting picked left and right, one by one. And when that happens, of course, you just cannot have the perfect line of ultimates. So PANTHERA, Arpen's Doomfist on King's Row looks very, very different compared to what we've been seeing in the control.
Yeah, so I mean, not just Arpen, but PANTHERA as a team itself is looking like 2 different teams. I think maybe they just woke up as a team, for lack of a better word. But SPG, they need to, like, on the side of SPG, they have all the ultimates in the world right now. They need to make this count. Wait, was that just manual hacked and canceled? I think so.
That was immediate response there. And Arpen.
No, it wasn't, because that couldn't be, because there was no Sombra on the side of PANTHERA. However, it doesn't look like the Flux registered, and SPG is falling like toothpicks here.
Oh man, this might be it.
And
with 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, 8 with Genji immediately dead. And that is it, 3:08. In King's Row. That's a lot of time for the final point.
Especially considering that it's King's Row here, G-Club. Remember, King's Row is not an easy map to full cap. Like, not even mentioning that,
that didn't even seem hard for PANTHERA.
Yeah, there were, I think, the only time they lost a fight was on point A. And after that, I don't think the payload ever stopped. I'm really curious to see how Milgaru's Graphitic Flux was kind of nullified, because Because looking at the damage there, it doesn't look like Milgaru's Flux registered, but I thought that was a manual hack, but Panthera didn't have any Sombras. The Sombra was actually on the side of the SPG. So what happened over there?
So I guess it either might have just missed totally.
I have no idea, but
yeah, within that contest, it's going to reveal hard. But Panthera, that's a lot of time, and SPG to push that, to push all the way to the final point with that much time, it's going to be a big stress. Now they're on to their attack.
Well, I mean that, but the first win condition for SPG is to still full cap. So they need to focus on that. Like time bank can come later. They need to focus on just at least full capping. And what an interesting composition on the side of Panthera. Panthera with the Zarya Genji comp. I don't think we've seen this very often from Panthera here.
And is Arpen Doomfist for the push made a lot of sense, but there are lots of other things that you can still play. Not Zarya, but we'll see. As this might be giving a lot less pressure for Becky to stay alive.
Oh, SPG is making wholesale swaps. They want to use that TP to rush into the face of Panthera. And they're on the high ground, and the Mei wall is there.
Great anti-heal by Develop. Was not able to
no
lead into any
casualties
kills.
just yet, but the entirety of SPG made it to high ground, so they have the choice to make any further action after that TP comes online again.
Pushing them down from the high ground. Oh,
Arpen is down!
Although, that wall was beautiful.
Yes, Milgaru is sleeping, but I don't think it's going to matter a lot because everyone on the side of Panthera is falling, and this is going to be easy point A for the side of SPG here.
And then getting an extra after the charge. Milgaru with that Reinhardt. Back on point, and Panthera might have some time to contest, but it's going to be a losing fight.
Yeah, Doomfist, I don't think he wants to contest here. Just giving up his life and just dying there means that it's going to be the same as Panthera's attack. Like, losing your tank at that point will mean that the Arc tunnel is going to be free, and they don't want that to happen. So now Panthera wants to defend this Arc tunnel, but it looks like it's not going to be easy, especially if Becky falls, and Becky was so close to that Dragon Blade. Arpen very low, but his Develop is healing him as the best he can, but Develop falls first, and that means it's not going to be a lot of healing for Arpen. Arpen falls. That is going to be yet another team fight win for SPG and a free pass to that tunnel.
But still, Panthera, they tried to choke, and when they're choking, they have somewhat less sources of poking in that way, and also not really having a solid tank who can just block all those damage. I think it's hurting Panthera in a lot of ways when they're defending. So instead, going all the way into the tunnel, the fight did not go according to what they wanted to do. But SPG certainly having a better team comp seems like it's helping them a lot.
I really like the tactical rotations from SPG here. Remember, they started with the Sigma. They went to the Reinhardt as soon as they saw the Zarya, and now that Arpen's back on the Doomfist, they're going to the Orisa, which is a lot more efficient than going with the Reinhardt. Oh, Develop falling means that they will not be having that Nano Blade, only the Dragon Blade in effect here. Denied by Milgaru. Yes, Uchan falls, but who cares because SPG is going to win this fight.
The payload is still pushing.
Oh, that kill on Develop was so crucial, G-Clef, because it would have been a different fight if it was the Nano Blade instead of just the Dragon Blade.
I do think so too. Yeah, with that Nano, Becky would have been staying alive for a lot longer, getting more kills than that. Now window up from Lee Soo-min all the way back. Milgaru is just having the time of his day here.
Oh, what? That javelin hit! Oh my god! How do they make this happen?
Doomfist kind of stuck in the middle.
So Panthera is in quite a weird position here. They do have both support ultimates on, but there's no there's no nano suitable targets except the Doomfist. Okay, but actually makes it work because Hidden is shooting clicking heads with that Hanzo pick. So, okay, a breath of fresh air and stability for Panthera, and SPG yes, they did lose that fight, but they have 3 ultimates now. They probably want to start up with the overclock and click a few heads, and then if the fight gets extended a little bit, then the Terra Surge will be there to finish things off. And on the side of Panthera, they have to wait until they have to use the rally, or they can just kill Aid.
Does work, and Panthera SPG, they should have known, as the Doomfist has been hiding in that position for a while now.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was that they should have to buy time with that rally and wait for that Dragon Blade to come up, but they don't even have to because they made that assassination happen on Aid. That's going to delay things even more.
Ooh,
remember, the
great
timer
shots
is
from
on 3 minutes and 5 seconds now, so even though if SPG full caps, they're going to have a worse time back than Panthera.
This might be a huge fight. We're looking into almost up to 8 ults coming soon. But no nano, so Panthera, they really have to make it here. There's that first dragon.
That's mainly a zoning ultimate.
And
the Terra Surge is there. It's gonna work that if Arpen goes down, but the ultimate is there for his own survival. And Arpen is not down yet. Slee with that rally to keep himself and his teammates alive. Arpen is frozen though, will not be able to survive, but Becky is there with the Dragon Blade taking down 2, although falls 2 as well. So it's going to be a reset for SPG. What a fight from Panthera, and what a performance from Becky.
Even without that nano, Becky held his blade for the longest time, wanted to have the perfect chance. After having all those ults being used by SPG, Aid, although Milgaru, they dropped down all the ults. Okay, nothing else can actually block my blade right now. I don't need the nano. I don't have the nano, first of all, so I need to be careful. Becky reading the scene perfectly, and another assassination from Hidden.
Nano, Genji, and also Aid fell with that headshot on Hidden. So this is gonna be yet another delay. Becky is very, very low.
That's literally 1 HP. Okay, finally healed up.
But the one to fall asleep. So this might be a window of opportunity for SPG here.
Okay, sound barrier ready for SPG. Can they really go for the push? Arpen, very strong, high energy.
Good Bionade buy. Develop on Aid, but the Immortality Fuel is there to save the Bastion.
Dragon Strike to isolate Bastion.
Oh!
Ooh, eventually got that. Got that kill with the dragon. Nicely done from Hidden.
Yeah, good ultimate from Hidden to force
Full
out
energy.
Aid. Oh, this is a DPS Zarya. Who says Zarya is a tank if you're on full energy?
Becky all the way in the back gets the kill, and Panthera, another successful defense.
This is a little bit of a panic from SPG now because it's only 50 seconds like you mentioned, G-Clef. And also if you look at the ultimates, only the Gravitic Flux is going to be online very soon. Oh, that's gonna kill right at them! Oh my goodness, Hidden!
Now that's a Shimada, brother. Hidden Becky, they're making a lot of these work. And all of a sudden now Aid also coming back as a Hanzo. So it's okay, let's go with the arrow duel.
Yeah, SPG needs variables here because they know that they can't win on a regular fight. They need that headshot variable.
20 seconds.
Because Panthera with the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Blade, also with the Nano coming up
coming
soon.
In 10%.
SPG is not gonna win on normal terms, so they need the Hanzo. They need Aid's Hanzo to make a headshot variable. There is that Nano Blade on site. And Becky, oh,
that's it.
Beautiful from Becky, and I think that is going to be it. And Panthera evens out the series.
Panthera keeping King's Row into their map. Wow, what a map! As we were saying before going to the map, saying Panthera looks very worrisome going into second map. Though map that won, they looked like they were all over the place, all over the paper. Compared to SPG, but it's actually on the other side. And once Milgaru doesn't get to play that ball as much, his Sigma play today seems very not on the same paper compared to what the other team is actually doing. So quite questionable. Depending on the map, some players getting a lot more power, some players getting a lot less power. That's of course the choice of what you get from losing a map before.
Yeah, I think I understand the logic for playing the Sigma, because if you don't have access to high ground, just use the Sigma shield to kind of deny the angles on high ground on the side of Panthera. But like you said, G-Clef, the Sigma pick doesn't look like it's working as much as the other picks that Milgara is playing. So maybe that's what they're going to work on that short break that we're going to have.
Yeah. First match, it's already getting so much better with that 1-1 score here Unknown. We'll take that short break, and will Panthera continue to deliver with their mechanics, or can SPG come back in the series? We'll see you real soon. Welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea Playoff Day number 1. We have 1-1 tied, a series in our hands now, with Panthera somehow, someway coming back alive with full power, basically.
I definitely have to praise the DPS lineup of Panthera there. Yes, it's a team effort, but man, Becky's Genji and Hidden's Hanzo, especially on that point C defense, was impeccable. It was so impressive. Yes, like again, I do have to praise the entire team. Like Arpen, we haven't seen a lot of that Zarya composition on the side of Arpen and Panthera, like as a team, but it looks like they have practiced it long enough for them to have that proficiency to take it on King's Row and win that map.
Was an amazing map for Panthera, but now, since SPG did drop that second map, they get to pick, and we go into that flashpoint. The map is Suravasa. As you were mentioning early on, with some Lucio, as the tempo control can actually be hard for one of these two teams specifically.
Yeah, so it looks like to be honest, SPG doesn't have a lot of choices to work with, to be honest. It's just Suravasa or Nijung City, but I think Suravasa is a little bit of a better pick if you want a lot of more skirmishes, because Nijung City inevitably has a little bit of a wider or a little bit bigger, more open control points. Suravasa, I think SPG is like, hey, we are still confident in our ability to win small skirmishes and also all-out fights. So I think that's kind of like an expression of their mechanical prowess and their confidence in winning team fights. So Suravasa should be, like, I think on paper SPG's favor, especially looking at what we've been seeing today. And like you've mentioned, G-Clef, I don't hear any substitutions from the side of Panthera, so it's going to be Slee and Develop. Slee is not necessarily known for his Lucio, so that
got the switch.
may be that difference, but I may be wrong.
Oh, but back into... Okay, so they did have... Slee did think about the competition twice, but ended up going back, and here is talking about who came back. Here is that ball from Milgaru.
However, Panthera kind of knows that this is going to happen because they have the Sombra in play. They just want to make life hard for Milgaru and his ball.
Hidden Becky, the DPS line from Panthera, they're awake. They're fully awake now. And Hidden caught off guard, but although...
I think I was really surprised at all those choice here with the Tracer, because if you look at the rest of SPG, it's mostly a pick composition, like poke composition, but I think all those job here is to take out, to almost stalk the Sombra, so that the Sombra does not make life hard enough for Milgaru, and if he does that, then the rest of the SPG squad is going to do their jobs, which they did, and take back the point.
Yeah, very, very similar comp to what we have seen from Antarctic from our first control map, as this is basically 5 control in a huge map. So it is a very similar team comp indeed, and although Tracer has been making a lot of harassments for Panthera this entire control.
So Hidden's taking a different approach here. He's not trying to take half the ball, because that didn't work, because they know that all those Tracer is looking at him. But he was trying to hack the backline and make a kill or two, but didn't happen. But although it takes down Slee, what a good pulse ball. And also the pulse pistols to take out Develop. Without the backline, Panthera is going to be no more, and they have to go back to spawn and lick their wounds.
Man, all those right on point, looking for that window, was going left and right, trying to see if he can land that pulse bomb exactly on the point. And Panthera, they on the other side, Doomfist was not able to get the countermeasure as much. So it is going to be SPG getting that first flashpoint, and then we're moving.
Ooh, so SPG is even closer to the next flashpoint as well, so they will be having positional advantage. Milkaru is the all-seeing ball here. They know where Panthera is, they know what direction they're going, and they have... Milkaru has the mind as well, so maybe he'll... Oh, he's not going to use them. Maybe saving it for later, but Becky very, very low. This is going to be very important because he has the Dragon Blade. He's healed up. He's nanoed. That's going to be the Nano Blade. Oh, it takes down Uchan.
In the air. Well done with the blade. Holding up to the perfect chance.
Yeah, that's also denying the captive sun from Uchan as well. So both support ultimates down on the side of SPG.
Artillery 8 also dropping a lot of ults. Everything except for that minefield, basically.
Hey, they did touch, so they delayed the cap, Panthera's cap, as much as possible. So they're not, Panthera is not getting as much progress on the point as they would have wanted.
Okay, Becky with that counter. Now,
Arpen very, very low, but managed to survive. Slate taking down, Becky taking down as well. Becky does take all though with him. However, it does not look like it'll turn the tide of the fight as three members are absent on the side of Panthera. Balls is taking a nap. Hammond, wake up.
Dart, unless Milgaru does something amazing.
Wait. Okay, 8 is taking down, but the point flip is there. This means Panthera has a chance to take this back real quick. That's a good nano on Arpen. Arpen does not take down Uchan though. Only the immortality
even with the nano.
field.
Yeah, even with the nano, the moment you go in, you see that field and the pylon, and your targeting has to be on those things first. And SPD, even with Torbjorn
Milkaru
getting poked out,
pressure.
Here's that Matrix.
That's the blade, but I don't know if it was worth it. Becky, everyone on your team was down. Did you really wanted to do that? However, that means that SPG will be flipping the point, and without that blade, it might be a bit of a difficult fight for Panthera because remember, Flashpoint ticks up really fast, and yes, if they win, they can take the second Flashpoint. However, if they lose, this is likely meaning that it is SPG going to take second Flashpoint as well.
Yeah, that blade can be questionable, but I think he was already pressing the button exactly at the moment when his teammates were going down. So not the worst, but hold on as he kept his son from Uchan. Hacked immediately from hidden.
Oh, ball is... Oh, wait! He lives to see... He lives
now
to tell the tale.
Player.
Arpen ults in.
Doomfist.
And takes down 8. The immortality field is down. And so is Lusumin. Uchan. Oh, dear. This is actually...
steal the point.
Yeah, Panthera not only going to steal the point, I don't think there's anyone... maybe Ball can touch?
Yeah, Ball's rolling.
Unless Hidden can manual hack Milkaru. No, I don't...
No, yeah, Milkaru's off the point already.
Yeah, so they just gave up. Milkaru just took a guess on where the next Flashpoint is going to be, but unfortunately it was
not the right one. It's actually on the top, not at the bottom. You did have a pretty good chance, though. It was going to be 3 out of 5. Oh, 2 out of 5, excuse me.
So, yeah, it was going to be 33%, right? Oh, wait a second, Milkaru, dude! He did not see that coming. Well, Hidden was there the entire time for a few seconds to see Milkaru, and that is going to give Panthera the upper hand in first capping that third Flashpoint.
That's the risk of having your own rotation without your teammates. It's risky, and that's actually too much risk sometimes if you're alone.
Yeah, Panthera is actually in a really good spot here. Yes, like this, because they can use the initial aggression with that nano, but Becky is down, so that forces out the EMP from Hidden in order for Panthera to win this fight. However, it does not look like anyone is taken down by it.
Early on.
Multi-core takes down Hidden.
Yeah, Aiden was pushed all the way into that lava.
The floor is lava. 8 is taking down, but so is the rest of Panthera. Arpen has ult to maybe survive, but will not be using it because...
Good choice.
Yeah, he needs that ultimate on the next fight.
Yeah, certainly needs one. As a few more ultimates are coming online soon enough. For Panthera, Becky, Slee also very close to it. As SPG, they have been holding it too, especially the backline supports. The Matrix and the Captive Sun ready to go. Wuchan, who has been delivering some extra damage on their DPS, because so far 8, again going back to the Bastion now, has been the focus point a lot.
Early Captive Sun from Wuchan does not catch anyone, nor does all those pulse bombs. So that's 2 ultimates gone wide on the side of SPG. But Becky is down! Becky with that Dragon Blade was the key for Panthera to winning that fight. And at 88%, this might be
driver to keep them out
for the 3rd point. Wuchan taking down Develop means that Panthera, Wesley used the
rally early on just to maybe buy some more extra time. But it was going to be a losing fight anyhow, and SPG 99%. That's a 2-1 now, Panthera. Can they come back with the same team comp?
Well, I think they will, because they still have that synergy going on with the Nanoblade coming up soon, and not a lot of answering ultimates from the side of SPG. So they should be able to win that first fight on Gardens, but if Becky gets picked out early, like he did in the last fight, then SPG still has a chance.
Yeah, so no, that just cannot happen anymore, as Becky is holding that blade too, with Nano available. So either they make the play now, there's a minefield, or early on from Milgaru.
Taking down
Slee gone.
So Panthera
4v5, do they want to commit?
I don't think they
Panthera, you can maybe look for...
No, they just want to.
It's still too early, but still, you're down 2-1. You're giving a lot of percentages to your opponent. By the next fight, it will be close to 30.
Well, still Panthera should be, like, on paper, should be able to win this fight.
Okay, hidden. Okay, I'll trade from 8.
Panthera needs to save a lot of ultimates here, because yes, they are capable of winning this fight without using a ton of ultimates, and...
Oh...
Even, like, already they conceded, like, 52%, which is pretty much a lot. And if they want to catch up on that progress, they need to use this Nano Blade on the next fight. So, good ult discipline on the side of Panthera, of using only the Doofus ult to win that fight. And SPG's, like, ult progress is really, really slow. I don't think I've seen a lot of ultimates being charged, like, for a while now.
Especially onto this point here, and here's Develop all the way back, trying to catch.
Needs to survive and survive long enough for the Nanoblade, but Nanoblade is denied!
8 with the headshot gets the final kill. So everything up to Hidden. There's that overclock. Wuchan with the Captive Sun early on.
And remember, Hidden also popped the overclocked. So that's 1, 2,
has nothing.
3, 4 ultimates denied on the side of Panthera. So Panthera lost a 4 ultimate fight, and at 65%, this is looking like an uphill fight on the side of Panthera here.
I'm almost drawing a check mark on SPG already from Sasa, but let's see, because Panthera can make the miracle happen. But they have 0 ultimate.
This is going to be the opportunity.
Hold on.
This is Panthera's opportunity if they have anything.
Milgaru! Panthera all the way up here. Aid being cornered off the point.
SPG is probably going to concede the point and wait for Milgaru to join again.
Will that be the biggest moment of mistake from Milgaru?
Oh, Aid, take it down!
Okay,
but
early.
Becky is traded out. Develop traded out as well, so Milgaru will be going out to the point and using that minefield. 99.
Okay, there's a touch. And there's that minefield. No one else can go into it. Although, looking for the snipe. No pulse bomb yet.
Pulse bomb at 96. So if although it takes out anyone without pulse bomb, it's curtains. And remember,
okay, that's
it. Arpen is down. Becky at 87% with that blade.
Okay, Genji's back. Can you make it happen with no blade?
Yeah, no, denied.
92%. that
has
is it.
nobody
It's all
to give
hidden.
that nano to.
Slee developed their... They can only use the ultimates because they have no one else to give it to! And with just the two supports, that is going to be it. SPG grabbing Sasa Flashpoint with a 2-1 map score now.
What an exciting last fight. Like,
Milkaru,
that
bro!
that last fight could have gone anywhere because Milkaru was taken out like early in that fight, and I thought SPG probably dropped the sweat there. They were like, "Oh my god, that shouldn't have happened!" And then they were really behind. And I think it was a good decision on the side of SPG to just concede the fight and wait for Milkaru to come back. Because if they just decided to commit to that fight at 4v5, they would have been wiped out. And not only that, they would have given enough ult charge for Becky's Dragon Blade. And also, since Develop had that nano, it would have been a losing fight for them. But just disengaging at the right time, giving Milkaru time to come back, and focusing that fire on Becky and Develop was the key to winning that map.
There are a lot of funny moments and also some really clutch moments for both sides. That's what Flashpoint is all about. But at the end of the map, SPG did grab that win. But will they continue? They only need one more map now. We'll take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll have that fourth map. Push. Welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea Playoff. And man, some great moments for both teams. We're going back and forth, back and forth. I'm expecting this to go to our final map, but we go into push, which basically means when they're on an offense, they keep on pushing. And it's a perfect map for Panthera here when they're down 1-2.
I think they have to go Casio. Like, New Queen Street is too much. There's too many angles for the ball to be in play. I definitely think that even though Milkaru is showing impressive progress on other picks like the Orisa, but I just think that the ball is just Milkaru's kind of like secret weapon here. Well, not so secret weapon, but I think that if it's Panthera's going to pick, as they will, it does have to be Coliseo if they want a chance. I also think that Panthera they look a lot better when they're playing the Zarya, specifically because Becky is the main output of damage on the team. Yes, Hidden did show a lot of good moments on the Hanzo on King's Row. However, like if you look at the series in a whole right now, it looks like Becky is going to be the main carry of this team, and having that Zarya to provide extra protection and having Becky up a little bit more, like even like a second or two more to get those critical shurikens down or making those resets happen, looks like is going to be Panthera's biggest win condition here.
With their win condition, it has to be matching in Esperanza now. No New Queen, no Coliseo.
Esperanza makes sense a little bit, but Esperanza is also a ball viable map. So maybe if I'm Panthera, they're still expecting the ball, but they were like, hey, we can kind of like counter that with the Sombra or something like that. But if you're an SPG, they were like, what? Esperanza? You want me to play ball? Like, your Sombra didn't deter my ball yet.
It's also a map where we see a lot less of Sombra and Tracer here. So the ball just might work a lot better against an opponent like Panthera.
Well, of course, Panthera should be, like, they're not just, like, blind guessing, like, maps here, right? So they would probably have a count. They do have a plan. That's what I believe. But we'll see. It doesn't look like they're changing anything from the last few maps. Like, Sasa, Antarctic Peninsula, this is the same, I guess, anti-ball composition that they're thinking about.
No Genji though. Becky on Tracer. So Sombra Tracer with the Doomfist with maximum mobility.
Yeah, so maybe I think the plan is going to be, hey, hack the ball. And remember, the last time Sombra hacked the ball, there wasn't enough follow-up damage to successfully, I guess, damage the ball enough for the ball to retreat, or better, take them out. Maybe Becky's going to provide that follow-up damage and keep that ball in bay.
We'll see. SSPD, although, start to make that rotation now. Finds an opponent Tracer. I think is it the first time that we see Becky on Tracer? Might have seen it for a couple of seconds.
Today.
Yeah, just for that last second touch.
8 is very low. That forces out the Immortality Field. So that's good news for Panthera.
On cooldown now. There's that driver. No big casualties yet. Okay, as I say that,
Develop is down, actually. Wow.
Oh, with the counter.
All those on fire with the Tracer today.
Becky very low, so all the way in the back. Arpen could not help his teammate actually to survive.
Yeah, so Milk Aura on the ball very, very low, but the key difference is that Ball is living longer, surviving longer than the Doomfist, so that's a little bit more pressure on Panthera's backline than on SPG's backline. If you look at the ult charges difference between Slee Develop and Uchan Lee Su-min, yes, Develop is a little bit faster on the nanos, but if you look at Slee, that means how much pressure is going on to the backline of Panthera, but although falls first, but SPG
Panthera
wants to commit and gets rewarded. I don't think that's necessarily any extra damage from the Captive Sun, but still, I think the Captive Sun made enough space for Aid to go brr and take out the members of Panthera. So this push is going to continue, and maybe the big question is, will they be able to touch that point? Because on push, G-Clef, remember,
they're almost there. No one else contesting.
Very important.
They actually got the touch, and the nano comes in for Panthera.
And the fighting's happening elsewhere.
Slightly too late. What? It seems like Panthera doesn't really care about the push, as they're just fighting on the other side. Oh, certainly they're winning. Hold on,
they're not even winning anymore. Because although is like, winning? We just touched the point. What do you mean? And claims all the kills there. Yes, Arpen is stealing away the robot on the side of SPG so that they can't make any further pushes. However, Hidden is down. That means Arpen is isolated. He has to run away for his life.
Yeah, but fortunately you're Doomfist, so you have that mobility. As we say that Uchan does get the kill on the Develop. The back line, Panthera getting picked off early again.
Becky is Becky is falling too, and this means Panthera is staggering 1 by 1. They need to regroup here.
Even further.
This is Slee going to fall down as well. This push is going for a while, G-Clef, because Panthera falling 1 by 1. They keep going on 4v5s, and Milkar is looking. No, he's looking for that Sombra.
Exactly, just hitting everywhere because Sombra might have heard a few sound from the Sombra. And here's Becky. Now, been on that Genji for a while now, only hitting 80%.
Yeah, finally taking down Although, meaning that it's finally going to be a little bit of stability on the side of SPG. Uchan using that Captive Sun, maybe thinking that he'll take away a member or two, but does not, which means that wasn't much value on the Captive Sun.
Still not too bad as SPG. They're still winning pretty hard on this map. Panthera, it almost seems like they're playing on a different map.
But if you look at the ultimates here, Panthera should be in order to win the next few fights because they have the Nano Blade finally online on the side of Panthera. Unless SPG makes a pick on the neutral fight without ultimates like this!
Oh, Milgaru.
Becky used the Dragon Blade, but was taken down! Yes, the Nano is there, but what's it going to be for? Probably the best chances of using that Nano is going to be on just a non-Blade Genji or probably the Doofus, but that's a big tool taken away from Panthera. SPG on the push once more, trying to hit that 100-meter mark.
And SPG with those... Didn't even have to use early on. Okay, Doomfist Nano. Early kill onto 8, so one less member for SPG. But can they really follow up even more? Actually going to be winning the fight!
And Becky down also means that it is actually going to be on the side of SPG. Yes, Milkar is taking a nap, but he's just watching. He's a happy hamster sleeping that while his team's pushing the payload.
So I thought Hidden was going to be pressing on that EMP earlier before the kill actually happened, so leading that 4v5. Oh, but maybe Hidden was just not on the perfect pull. Well, there's that contest now. There's that EMP
early
with
EMP,
the full team.
But a good Immortality Field to keep everyone alive. Now it's SPG's turn to make that aggression. Taking down everyone. Hey, G-Club, this might be a full cap for the side of SPG here.
PANTHERA, they just cannot hold the point to contest against SPG. They're just all over the place.
PANTHERA is switching over to the Zarya, but I think that's more of a desperation pick here. And with Milkaru mine approaching.
Captive Sun hitting one.
Captive Sun doesn't even need to take a kill at this point, but it actually does. Hidden takes down Aid, but still, SPG is winning a lot of these fights. It's still a winning fight for the side of SPG.
Available.
And even if they lose, it's okay for SPG because they have 138 meters. Yes, so it looks like PANTHERA is going to finally stabilize and being back on the scoreboard. However, SPG can be very, very satisfied with their progress so far.
Oh man, PANTHERA, they almost lost it, and now hit them back on that Hanzo. Plus, Zarya says, okay, Becky's been dropping early during the fight, even with that blade, even with that nano sometimes. So I guess we need an extra layer on top of that, our Genji. I think it's an okay choice, but let's see if it works out.
Yeah, finally PANTHERA has that nano blade tool back, and like you said, G-Cliff, they have the Zarya bubble to compensate it a little bit, and okay, 1 kill. So that looks like it's 3 kills, but okay. Becky, with that nano blade, took a turret, an immortality field, and 1 player, while the entirety of SPG killed everyone except Becky. So, if I were SPG, I'd take that trade any time of the day.
PANTHERA. Oh!
Becky!
Becky!
He has a nail on his head. He's going to be Frankenstein now. But that's not important because SPG is almost at the verge of winning this game.
God.
Captive Sun already online.
Hey, Zarya down!
Oh
my god.
With that window,
SPG
it's going to be hard to even contest.
Matrix are up. So Aldo can get further kills. And Becky on Echo now. But they need someone else to actually stay on the point. Aldo!
With me, everyone, it's gone!
And that is it. SPG will be the winner of this playoffs.
And PANTHERA is out of Contenders Korea. Wow, what a game, what a performance from SPG, and wow, everyone on the side of SPG, Aid, although Milkaru, Uchan, Lee Sumin, all performed really, really well and well-deserved on the side of SPG.
Man, I don't even know what to say. PANTHERA's out from the tournament. And SPG, especially at the last point, Aldo's Tracer was amazing. Milkaru holding onto that push and also surviving. I think that was the key, where Arpen on the other side tank was always falling and drawing a lot of attention, and especially with the Doomfist, it's really hard to get all the heals from your own support line, as I think that was one of the biggest difference between the two teams today.
Yeah, I mean, like, what a shock. I'm still in shock because remember, PANTHERA is a team that has been favorites to winning this tournament. They have been tournament favorites, and they have history of going against even the best teams in the Overwatch League and even managed to grab some wins. So this is a team that we've expected to be so much more from them. But all credit to SPG. Yes, PANTHERA was struggling to find foot on the game, especially in this meta. It looked like they didn't know what they were most comfortable in on their in terms of compositions. But hey, it's still a roster that's really strong, and SPG winning is really, really important. And our player of the match here is Aldo. What a performance from this man.
We're going to see some amazing Tracer plays, starting from the very first control.
Ooh, I mean, this Tracer was really, really. I mean, his counterpart was Becky out of all people. Becky he's a Overwatch League caliber talent that was also considered. Oh,
that dragon seemed like a dragon with that dragon looked like a very small snake, not a dragon level.
Yeah, coming back to although here, like he was even going against like the best, I guess what was considered one of the best flex DPSs and contenders, and he was like back when Becky was on the Hanzo Spark, he was I don't know, excuse me, on the LA Valiant, he was considered one of the best players on that team. So outshining Becky is no ordinary feat, and he made it look easy today.
I mean, there were some moments where the team just could not cover enough for Genji. And sometimes there was some amazing Blade, but I think there are a lot more moments where we were saying that, okay, Blade should have got a lot more kills than 1 or 2. But sometimes that's the risk of having Genji. Sometimes it doesn't work out, even if you have the team come for it. So PANTHERA is going to be gone, with, as you can see with the result. 3-1, SPG will be moving up now. Has to fight against a very strong team. 0.
Yeah, 0 SPG. Well, I don't think they've actually had history of beating 0 in the Overwatch League Summer Opens.
But that's a long time ago, actually.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if you're on the side of SPG, you want to bring out those old, like, good memories, right?
Yes, you
Especially if you've been like going against 0 2 times in the Summer Opens. They haven't met in the Contenders scene yet, like at least not this season yet. But yeah, they do definitely want to bring fond memories back if they want to beat 0 here.
Yeah, that was before Zarya meta, so we'll see what happens. That's going to be tomorrow. But before we go into that, we do have another match here. As the playoff does continue, we go into our next match, JNGK versus Poker Face. We'll take a longer break, and when we come back, we'll have that match number 2.